Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Kay of Cattle Buyers Weekly. We've just had a cattle on feed report released about 30 minutes ago. And if you didn't hear them or read them, the numbers are cattle on feed on September 1, 9.882 million. That's 98.8% of a year ago. Placed in August, 2.110 million head, 102.4%. Marketed in August, 1.810 million, that's 96.1. Incidentally, that cattle on feed number under 10 million means that feedlots 1,000 head and over are still running at about 60 to 62% capacity, so it shows up the significant overcapacity we have in the sector. I'd regard the report as pretty neutral, although August placements were slightly higher than forecast. The other numbers came in pretty much, very much in line. We obviously, we marketed not quite enough cattle in August, as evidenced, I think, by two things. The continued excellent grading, particularly of cattle up north, and again in that region from central Nebraska into Iowa, some really overweight cattle, and they continue to push those weights almost to record levels. And I expect that in the next 3 or 4 weeks we'll see record steer weights, if not sooner, being reported. The placements by weight category were a study in contrast for the second month in a row. Just like in July, we saw a lot of calves and a lot of very heavy cattle placed. The under 600-pound category saw 60,000 head, or 16.4% more cattle placed than a year earlier, while the 800-pound and over category, those heavy yearlings coming in off grass, they were up 7.6 or 55,000. And I think the 2 months of large placements of the heaviest cattle will cause more cattle than expected to be marketed during the first quarter of 2010. So there's going to be some pressure on the January-February market. Having said that, the majority of the year-on-year increase in placements in August came in the under 700-pound category. Placements year-on-year increased 45,000, whereas in the 700-pound plus, it was only up 4,000 on last year. So we didn't alter that pattern year-on-year very much. But that heavier category placed 470,000 more cattle than the under 700. So, and that's what we historically do this time of the year. Just looking on a state-by-state basis, Texas, Kansas, cattle on feed totals remain below a year ago, and that's really a reason why their market, and on a cash basis, cash prices have remained at a par or something of a premium to Nebraska, to the chagrin of Nebraska cattle feeders, where I calculated in the last grading week, which is a couple of weeks old, cattle in Nebraska graded 56% more choice and prime than they did in Texas, and yet the Texas cattle feeders again this week got slightly more for their cattle. They got almost another $1 more for their cattle. And it's really because supplies are that much tighter down south, and will remain so for some time because, as I said, the Texas-Kansas totals are below a year ago still. Nebraska's total on September 1 was up 3% on last year. Colorado up 12%, Iowa up 9%, similar with last month. Other states, again, in the north, larger totals than a year ago, Idaho, South Dakota, and Washington. All the major states placed more cattle than last year, again, except for Texas, so those numbers will remain tight. That's about it. I think as far as the general market is concerned, this week again showed that demand rules, and we can focus a lot on the supply side, but until beef demand domestically and internationally improves, the market's going to continue to struggle and stay in a narrower trading range than the tighter cattle supplies, market-ready cattle supplies would suggest in October. Until next month, this is Steve Kay saying have a good few weeks. Goodbye.